Welcome to the Clarington Chronicle Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Stanish. This is podcast episode number 82 for Thursday, May 4th, 2017. Glad to have you join me, and may the 4th be with you. Please join me for a few minutes as I take a look at the latest news in Clarington. Hey, I hope everybody had a good week, and before we get started with our topics, just wanted to note that it's pouring rain outside. I just got home, and it's just pouring out there, and I think yesterday was supposed to be the only nice day, or clear day anyways, for the next 2 weeks or something like that. So, you look at the forecast, and it's just rain, and it's also very cool. But that's going to segue nicely into our first topic. So this is from Clarington this week, and the headline is Bowmanville waterfront properties flooded by lake surge still at risk. So this story has been percolating for a couple days now. It hit the wires. It went quite widely across Canada. But it says here, Clarington firefighters, operations staff, and neighbors worked together to protect Bowmanville waterfront properties flooded due to lake surge on Sunday, April 30th. Now, I have no idea if this is common or not. It's like, in my mind, it's definitely not. I haven't really paid attention to flooding at all here in Curtis. I'm on the south side of Curtis, but nowhere near the lake. We're still a few kilometers from the lake, but still, I don't recall. I've been here 17 years, and I don't recall ever hearing about a flood like this. So, in any case, it's pretty rare. So, it says here, residents of Cedar Crest Beach Road still have the sinking feeling they're alone when it comes to fending off the high waters of Lake Ontario. So as I said, this story was picked up widely across Canada. And here's a quote they have from Clarington Fire Chief Gord Weir. The lake is 2 or 3 feet higher than usual. You can't drain the lake. You try and get some sandbags and try and protect the houses. So this sounds like a dire situation. Clarington responded with 15 full-time and part-time firefighters who worked on Sunday to help residents protect the 8 to 10 waterfront properties that experienced flooding. And again, that's in Bowmanville, South Bowmanville there. Firefighters worked with 10 operations, municipal staff, and a group of 40 local residents to fight the flooding. Hundreds of sandbags were used to create a wall to protect the homes. The local Tim's Rental Limited opened its doors, allowing residents to get pumps and hoses. Durham Police and Red Cross checked on neighbors and their properties. So we're expecting a whole lot of rain in the next few days. So I haven't really thought about it. I noticed it was quite a bit the other day. Like it was clear yesterday, but on Tuesday it was raining, and I noticed coming down there was a pooling by the side of my house there, where normally I wouldn't see anything. So there was definitely a lot of rain that came down, but I didn't think it was that much. But, they might have got hit harder down by the lake. I don't know. And definitely in the forecast, there's another 15 to 25 or 30 millimeters forecast. So that's again, a couple centimeters is quite a bit. So, my thoughts are with everybody down there by the lake in Bowmanville, and hopefully they can get that situation under control. The second story I want to bring to your attention that caught my eye this week was from the Durham region, and the headline is Durham region excels in water quality. And I'll include links for all these as I usually do. It says here, this is a press release from the region. The regional municipality of Durham once again met or went beyond the requirements of Safe Drinking Water Act 2002. The Act sets out the standards for the operation, treatment, and testing of municipal drinking water systems. The region of Durham consistently meets or surpasses these requirements as it strives to provide residents with high-quality drinking water. Now, I know a lot of people, lately I've been actually buying a lot of water. The whole family just loves, picking up water. I've gotten turned off pop. Like, the soda just doesn't interest me anymore, so I'm drinking a lot of water. But I've always loved the quality of the water from the tap. I know a lot of people don't. They filter it and everything, but I don't know. I've never found the water quality here in Clarington to be an issue, and certainly not in Curtis anyways, from the municipal supply. So it goes on here. The region of Durham's annual water quality report for 2016 describes our waterworks and the quality of the drinking water for each water supply system within Durham region. The report notes that 8,158 water samples were tested last year. The region's drinking water systems are operated according to the Drinking Water Systems Regulation, which require continuous online monitoring, as well as weekly, quarterly, and annual sampling and testing of water quality at the water supply plants. So they have They have a quote here from John Presta, who's Director of Environmental Services. Our drinking water is sampled and analyzed for various groups of parameters, which may be present in any source water. Bacteriological parameters, inorganic parameters, and organic parameters. He goes on to say here that bacteriological quality is the most important aspect of drinking water quality because of its association with waterborne disease. We have achieved 99.8% compliance for bacteriological samples, which is a very impressive rate. So you can get more information there, and certainly contact your regional counselor if you'd like more information on that. But I'm pretty satisfied with the quality of the drinking water in Clarington. Okay, and I do want to mention that this coming Saturday, May 6th, is the Maple Fest. I mentioned this last week, but I want to bring it to your attention again, just because it's an amazing event. If you haven't been, and or if you have been and just don't know that it's coming up, it is this Saturday. So make an effort to go if you can. It looks like rain. We'll see what happens. Maybe there's a few hours there where you can hop down there. Certainly, a lot of people. I've been to many of these Maple and Apple Fests and that kind of thing, but. In downtown Bowmanville, but on times when it's raining, people usually just park somewhere and quickly jump out, grab whatever the product is they're looking for or treat, and spend a little bit of time there and then head out. But let's hope that there's a few good hours during the day there, early afternoon or late morning or something, and that we can get in on that Maple Fest activity. Now, another story I want to bring to your attention is that this is from the DurhamRegion.com website press release, and the region of Durham is testing their public alert system. Now, I've never heard this. We live fairly close to a nuclear reactor, but I've never heard this actually go off. Maybe I just haven't been upstairs at the right time, or maybe I haven't been outside at the right time, or maybe it's just not that loud. But it says here, residents, and this was released on May 1st, residents and businesses are advised that the region of Durham will be conducting its annual spring testing of the public alerting system within the 10-kilometer area around the Darlington, that's for Clarington, and Pickering nuclear generating stations. They're saying, when is this taking place? It's during regular business daytime hours on May 11th for outdoor notification, automated emergency telephone dialing system, and on May 12th for outdoor siren activation. So just to be aware of that, if next week if you hear that, that's what it is. The outdoor sirens will sound for up to 1 minute. And again, that's 10 kilometers around Darlington. Why? It says here the public alerting system is designed to warn residents and businesses in the unlikely event of a nuclear emergency. So I think this is prudent to do these once in a while. I get the sense they do them a couple times a year, but at least once a year. And but like I said, I've never actually experienced one. I've never heard the sirens sort of go off or anything like that. They do have some information. I'm going to include a link if you want more information. But again, just to be alert that is coming next week. So not to be alarmed, but to listen for it, just to make sure that you know what it sounds like when it goes off. And another press release from the region here, the business count returns to Durham region. So this was May 2nd press release, and it says businesses in Durham region should expect a knock on their door this spring or summer as part of an annual regional project to gather employment statistics and build a stronger local economy. The Regional Municipality of Durham Planning and Economic Development Department is conducting its 6th business count, a survey of local businesses that gathers statistics about their operations. So if you operate a business in Clarington, you can look forward to that. And it says here it's going to be being conducted between May and August. So just to be aware of that you might get that sort of request. And it says the business count team will be recognizable in their navy blue Region of Durham shirts and photo ID cards. So I don't know if they're going to be going to small home businesses or that kind of thing. But I guess if you're registered, they'll probably try and contact you somehow. But it says, in addition to in-person visits, businesses also have the option to conveniently complete an online survey. So home businesses and farms are also encouraged to participate by completing the survey online. So they may contact you, but they're encouraging you to fill out the survey online. I'll include a link, so if you do operate a small business, just take advantage of that. And comply that way. And then the final story I want to bring to your attention is sort of a summary of what's happened before, but this is from the Clarington.net website. press release, and it says residents collected 4.58 tons of garbage during the 50th annual pitch-in week. So I'm not sure if you participated, but back on April 22nd, many hundreds of volunteers participated in helping to beautify their communities. It's a fantastic event. If you've never participated, I strongly encourage you to check it out next year. And in between, you don't have to beautify your community on a particular day. It's sort of an ongoing thing. I personally think that education is going to be the eventual key here. Just if we all realize that, we don't need to go out there on a particular day if people just, would put the trash where it belongs, when it belongs there. So let's go through the press release here. It says Clarington residents came together to clean up their community by collecting 4.58 tons of garbage in 2 separate events during pitch-in week. On April 22nd, the municipality of Clarington volunteers and community groups pitched in to make Clarington beautiful. There were 3 main cleanup locations in Bowmanville, Curtis, and Newcastle, with numerous groups who registered to clean up their local neighborhoods. On April 29th, residents in Newcastle came together again to clean up the area. And that's what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be one particular day or one particular week. It could be an ongoing thing. This year, approximately 800 volunteers participated in the cleanup, including pathfinders, guides, brownies, sparks, scouts, beavers, church groups, friends, and families. It says here, this year marks the 50th annual Pitch-In Week in Canada. Pitch-In Canada is a national non-profit organization dedicated to the preservation and sustainable growth of our natural ecosystems and communities, as outlined on its website. The program is the largest environmental improvement campaign in Canada. So again, hats off to all of us who participated in that. If you, whether you did it as part of a volunteer group or whether you simply make it a part of your normal routine to go around and take some pride in your community and neighborhood. And that's my look at local news of interest to you in Clarington. Question of the podcast. Have you taken any precautions concerning the expected rainstorm? Have you taken any precautions concerning the expected rainstorm in Clarington? And that's it for episode number 82 of the Clarington Chronicle Podcast. If you'd like to comment on the podcast or have an idea for an upcoming episode, just email me at claringtonchronicle@gmail.com. And you can find this podcast on Twitter at Clarington Chron, or on one of the Facebook pages dedicated to Clarington or a community within Clarington, or on my website, markstanish.com. You can subscribe for free on iTunes or Android and get instant updates when a new podcast is uploaded. We're also on YouTube. Thank you for listening.